We're up at Sacre Coeur in Montmartre in Paris. I want to talk about the word journey. The word journey goes back to Latin, and it basically comes from a word meaning throughout the day, or to go through a day, because in French, jour is the word for day. In Latin, jour or dies would have been the word for day. And then diurnal, which is kind of where journée comes from, would have been one of those words. And it even goes back, the word for day goes back to Proto-Indo-European, the sort of precursor to Latin, the precursor to many of the different languages that we have, as being a word meaning to shine. So obviously when the sun is out and it's shining, that's what we had our word for day, and that's come all the way down to us through many different ways. Now it's interesting to note that the journey, which comes from French, when you say hello to people in French, you would say bonjour, you would say good day, bonjour, bonjour, which just has come to mean hello. And when they're leaving, you actually say bonne journée. And that got me to think, where does the word journey come from? Because bonne journée doesn't mean hello or good day, it means go have a good day. And the original meaning of it was to go throughout the day, or how far you could travel in a day was a journée. Or to simply from the time the sun is up to the time the sun is down. And then we've come to have it mean sort of the message, the path of one's life. And it's a very interesting thing to sort of point out when somebody in France or somebody that's French speaking says bonjour, and then when they're leaving they say bonne journée, have a good journey, have a good day, and go throughout your day very well. And the journey, the journey then, as it's sort of evolved in its etymology and come to the present day, and we've started to learn a little bit more about the journey of life. I bring that up, you can see all the hustle and bustle that sort of goes around me here, is instead of worrying about this idea of the rat race, or worrying about this idea of, you know, the next step, or it's a race, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And I tell everybody, I go, stop, you know what, it's simply the journey. It's simply, it can be a day at a time, a lifetime at a time. And it's not so much this idea of try to compete, try to win, try to get ahead. Have the journey. It doesn't even have to be a stop and smell the roses type of journey. It's simply more, go and sit and appreciate the day that you have where you are. And yeah, I want people to have objectives and missions and visions that go beyond that. But at the same time, there's a whole idea behind it of just simply go throughout the day and think of the journey not as this huge thing, but think of the journey as just today. And get a little more present with yourself. The journey can have a beautiful thing, and then it can look back and you can talk about the journey of your life, which is the collection of days. In the human body, it's the collection of cells that make up who you are. And then switching over to Old English for a little bit, there's this idea about word and about last. And people wonder if you've ever been into the shoe world, you make a shoe on what's called a last. And I always wondered, that doesn't make any sense, because we always think of last as the end or the ultimate. And last actually meant track, or it meant foot, or it meant print. And in Old English, they had this concept called last word. And it didn't mean your last words, the last thing you said. It was actually the word, because word was also story. It wasn't just simply a word, but it could be both. And so the last word was the track word, meaning it's the tracks one left throughout their life. It is the story of their journey through life. And it was a very beautiful concept. And the next time you think about the last word, think of that. And the next time you think about the journey, think of that. Look back. Even, I don't care if you're 5 years old, I don't care if you're 100 years old. Look back and see the track that you've left, the journey that you've been on, with its ups and downs, its highs and lows, its ins and outs, and every little place that you can possibly be on that. And while you think of that, I'm going to bid you a bonne journée, a bonne année, and a bonne, beautiful life. This is Dr. Hulsebus. Thank you for listening. Bonne journée.